But unthread it, and you can see what I mean, how it's gonna flow out of there pretty good. So then just follow it back. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is service day for the transfer case. We're going to be draining and filling the transfer case fluid, so I'll show you how to do that. It's very simple. You can do it in your garage. You'll only need a couple of things. Number one being, obviously, your ATF fluid. Now, I'm going with the OEM Nissan stuff. You don't necessarily have to, but they do highly recommend, at least for the transfer case and transmission, that you stick with the OEM Nissan stuff. I've heard stories that they do something with this fluid. It's a little bit different. Not necessarily that it's going to be wrecking your transfer case or your transmission if you use something different, but right in the manual, they do recommend, highly recommend using the OEM stuff. Whereas like your diff fluid or even your oil, you can use whatever. Of course, they're going to tell you to use the Nissan stuff still, but they say you can use whatever oil for those. But they specifically say in there, hey, for this stuff, try to stick with the Nissan fluid. So that's what I'm going to do for this video. But again, it's up to you, whatever kind you want to put in your truck. That's your own. Do what you do. That's up to you. So the only other thing you're going to need for this, and it's going to make your life a lot easier, is a pump. Now, if you can find a squeeze bottle or the bags with this stuff in it somewhere, your life will be a lot easier. You won't have to mess around with something like this, but they don't make many, if any, automatic transmission fluids with that type of setup. They're all in the quarts or the gallon. So you'll want a pump like this, super cheap off of Amazon. These things are like $5. So it's really hit and miss. There's no good or bad brand. It's just over time they start to leak. Some of them fall apart. Some of them, the little nozzle down here falls off in the bottle. It can be a pain in the butt. But again, if you look at this one, it has two threaded sections. So your smaller one for your quart bottle and the bigger one if you're doing this out of a gallon jug. And then again, they come with two little hoses, longer one for your gallon, this one for your quart. So basically that'll attach in there. It's just a pressure fitting. Stuff it in, it'll hopefully stay, and that'll get you to the bottom of the jug. So something like this is going to make your life a lot easier. It's a little bit of a tight fit under there. So I recommend before you start, get something like this. Just be careful when you're actually pumping it because it's easy to dump the jug over. Sometimes they leak around the fitting to screw it onto the top. Sometimes the hose falls off. Sometimes this falls off. I've heard horror stories, but we're going to see how this one works. So let's get under the truck and I'll show you what you're looking for and how to do this. All right, so coming under the truck, you got your driver's door. You come straight down under here and your transfer case is right there. So if you have your skid plate on here, you'll want to get that out of the way because when this thing pours, if you can see right in the center of your screen there is your drain plug, that little bolt. So when it drains out, it's going to drip on your skid plate and it's just going to make a mess of everything. So it's just a couple bolts. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. Take them off. The two on the furthest out, so that one right there, and then your far one, they're notched if you look right there. So take the center two out, and then the other two you can just loosen and pull it towards the back of the vehicle and it's out of the way. So if you're wondering, the bolts are a 12 mil. They are not extremely tight. I did get these ones started already, but you don't have to put a lot of pressure on them to get them out. So keep in mind when you're doing this at the end and you're putting it back on, you don't have to go crazy tightening these down. Just make them snug, give it one little oomph, and that's good enough to hold it on. And then again, this one you can see is just loose enough to let the washer wiggle, and that's enough, because then when you take out that one, and loosen the other side like this, again, this will just slide out of your way, chuck it to the side, and you're ready to go. All right, so I had it a little bit backwards, but you can see your first one, this is driver's side, first one, and your third one is notched. The other two are holes. So take out those two bolts, then you can slide it out of the way. Don't lose them because you're going to want to put it back on at some point. But if you're interested, this is what your transfer case skid plate looks like. So next, we're going to want to go under the truck to loosen the drain plug. One thing to keep in mind, you can see this right there is your drain plug. You can see how close it is to the exhaust. So if you've been driving your truck, it's going to be hot. I recommend just letting it cool down before you do any of this. But if you're in a rush, or maybe you're a mechanic and you're looking at this to have a little DIY, watch your arm because it's going to burn you. All right, so making our way under the truck, you can see the bottom is your drain. The top one here is your fill. Always get the fill open first, because if you can't get that out for some reason and you drain it, you now have no way to fill your transfer case back up and you're hooped. So again, keep an eye on the exhaust right here, but crack that one loose. And then when that's loose, come over here, crack this one loose, get your oil pan, unthread it, let it drain, wait for it to stop dripping, and then we're good to go. And these two bolts are 18 mil, so you need an 18 millimeter socket to get them out. All right, so we got the fill plug out over there. It may drip a little bit of fluid out of there, not a big deal. Keep in mind, my truck is level, so if a little bit's coming out, that's perfectly normal. It's going to be the same when we fill it. Now for the drain plug, sometimes this stuff comes out like a rocket ship. So what I recommend, get your oil pan ready, put it up like this when you're loosening it to catch the initial flow, and then you can just slowly level it out and push it back and let it drip dry. So another thing to keep note on is these are not in there very tight. You can see I haven't touched this one at all yet, and it's just a quick little flick of the wrist. Get it so it's coming out. These things are not extremely long. Put it up like this. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but slowly, you don't want to drop this in the pan if you can help it, but unthread it, and you can see what I mean, how it's gonna flow out of there pretty good. So then just follow it back, and then we're just gonna let it sit there and drip dry for a while, because you want to get as much of this out as you can. So eventually it'll go to just a slow drip, and that's good enough. But for now, we'll leave it as is and let it drain. All right, so while the fluid is still draining out, you can get your little pump ready, or whatever you're going to be using. This is what seems to fall out from people I've seen online anyway. So make sure, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in there, push it all the way up as far as it can possibly go. And then just give it a couple pumps while it's dry. You'll be able to hear that it is going to be able to pump through there. So then take the top off of one of your jugs, drop it in, nice and easy. The less you bump this thing around, probably the better your chances of it working are. And then you'll need 2 hands for this part, maybe. But thread it on, make sure it goes all the way down, make it snug. It'll look a little funny because you can see in there, like I said, one side for the quart, one side for the gallon. And then all you do, which I'm not going to do it right now because it's going to start coming out of the hose, is just pump it up and down, same like a soap dispenser, and it's going to slowly pump through there. That side will go into the fill hole, and then we can hopefully get both of these in there, because you're going to need 2. So we'll keep pumping, and with any luck, we won't spill any on the ground, and the pump will stay good enough, at least working good enough, until we get them both in there. All right, so now that everything is drip dry and empty, you got to put your plug back in. Just wipe it down, get it clean off your threads. You don't want to cross thread this or anything when you're putting it in. So again, finger tight as you're going in, that way you know you're not cross threading anything, and then just crank it down. And again, you don't have to go crazy. You've seen how loose it was when I took it out. That's about how tight you're going to want to putting them back in. So not very tight at all. Keep in mind, you don't need any thread sealer or anything like that. There's no washers or anything like that on these either. So it is just screw it back in, tighten it down, get your bottles ready to go, because we're going to be filling it up now. And then maybe I don't have any right now, but if you do and you haven't used something like this before, get a chunk of cardboard or even a old rag or towel, put it underneath where your oil pan is, because sometimes those leak, and if it leaks, it's going to end up on your floor. So if you don't want it on the ground, get something that can catch the excess that's not going to make it into your transfer case. And for me, I'm just going to hope for the best, because I don't have anything in here other than the oil pan, which we want to get that out of the way, because of course you don't want it to be getting kicked or bumped and spilled all over your garage floor, because that is going to be one heck of a mess. And a little look at the fluid. Now keep in mind, I used this oil pan for my front and rear diff as well, so it had a little bit of leftover in there. But you can see it is still pretty red. I don't know if it necessarily needed to be changed yet, but as for the mileage, we're at that point, so it's easy to do. And if you ever wonder, do those big black wolf spiders like oil? The answer would be no. That sucker was hiding in there somewhere, but he is no longer with us. All right, now hopefully I got you guys in a good angle. I'll try to kind of show you how this thing works. So, of course, we have our bottle here. Again, make sure the top is nice and snug. These little clips are kind of iffy, so just pay attention to what you're doing and try not to spill too much of this along your floor. But let's see if I can get it up close enough here. Just put the top in, just like such, and then just start pumping. You can see the fluid will go straight up, and you just keep pumping. Eventually you'll get air and stuff in there, so either your little nozzle in there fell off. Don't go too crazy when you're pumping this. If you just go slowly, nice and gentle like this, you shouldn't have any issues with that. All right, so we're getting to the bottom of the jug. I don't know if you can notice the bottles up there, but you can definitely hear it. Like it's pulling air, and now you can see that's pretty much, feels like we got most of it out of there. So what we'll do is we'll move on to the second bottle. What I'm going to do is open up the other one, and this has just a bit left in the bottom. I'm going to dump this into the other one and then just have it super full and put as much as we need in here to have the transfer case full. All right, so for bottle number 2 of this, you want to obviously have your drain plug ready to go. Get yourself a small rag, because like I said, we're going to fill it until we see it start dripping out. Once it starts dripping, put your plug back in, tighten it down, and then you can wipe it up, just so you don't have excess fluid hanging out under your truck. But again, we're just going to keep pumping this until, like I said, it's going to start dripping out a little bit. All right, so you can see there, I got some left over here, but make sure it's not coming off of your hose. So when I pump some in here, you can see it's not dripping back out yet, right? So that means it was just backflowing up the hose a little bit. So keep it so that it's kind of arched upwards slightly, and that'll stop you from mistaking it from being full. So keep on pumping. But that is what you're looking for. When it's actually full, it's going to drip out like that. Just make sure you're not getting mixed up with the actual hose. All right, so while she's still dripping like that, drain plug or fill plug, again, hand first. Don't go crazy with these things, because if you strip them, you're going to hate yourself for a long time, because that's going to be a big pain to get back together. So once you got it started, again, come in with your ratchet. You'll be able to feel this. I know it looks like I'm going crazy with it, but it's got fine threads, so it threads a little slower. Get it tight, and then same as we took it off. I just kind of had to push just slightly. I'm not the Hulk by any means, but again, you want it snug, just like that. And there you go. She's not going to drip anymore. You're not going to have any issues. And then when that's all done, come in here with a rag of some sort. Just give it a wipe. This will also help you check for leaks later on. But she's full. We can get this mess out of the way here. All right, so before we're all said and done here, I'm going to show you a little trick. This pump was pretty good. I got it from Princess Auto if you want to know. But if for some reason you have a pump and sometimes, one, the hose isn't long enough, or two, when the bottle gets closer to the bottom, it just won't pump anymore. I don't know why that is. This one seemed to work all right, but I have it set up here in a way just to show you what you can do. So if you see, we used the entire other quart. I've poured the remainder into this one, and we used almost the entire second quart to fill this thing up. So if you're getting down to that point and it won't pump anymore, take the longer hose. You saw that at the beginning of the video. Get yourself the longer hose. You can see I've got it on here. Put it in, because now you're right down to the bottom of the quart there. So you can pump it and it's going to suck up the bottom portion of it if you need the extra little bit to get the transfer case or whatever you're pumping. It doesn't have to be the transfer case necessarily, but if you're pumping up something like that and you need to get the extra last little bit of drips and tiny bit at the bottom of the barrel there, that's another option. It doesn't have to be sealed tight by threading it on. That's just in case you spill it or something. So this method, you got to be extra careful, but if you need that extra little bit, that's how you do it. And then last but not least, make sure before you climb under here, you got your 2 extra bolts, but we need to get the skid plate back on there. So again, this thing's not heavy. It is steel, but it's not heavy. Line up your 2 threaded spots there. You can push it, and then it's going to hold itself up there for you. Then you can get your other 2 bolts, get them started on there. And then once you got them all started, this part you can do with an impact if you want. Just crank them down. And of course, me being the genius that I am, for the one, I got the washer on the wrong side. So make sure when you put this in, you get the washer on the right side. So now, once you got the washer on the right side, you crank them all down. And you're done. All right, there you go, guys. Transfer fluid is changed on the 3rd gen Nissan Frontier. So like I said, all you need is a 12 mil, 18 mil socket, an oil pan, your new fluid, and a little pump. And you can do this easily in about a half an hour. Give it like 10-15 minutes to drain, and then another 10-15 minutes to take everything apart and put it back together. So super easy. You can do it in your garage like I did. If you're out on the ground, and keep in mind my truck's lifted a little bit too, so I could squeeze under there. If you got to jack up the truck, it's not the end of the world. You still just wait for it to fill and drip out a little bit like that. If it's a little bit high or a little bit low on the fluid, it's not going to matter. You just don't want to go to the extreme. So again, if you have to jack up the front of the truck or whatever to get under there, not the end of the world. Follow the same process and your truck will be fine and you're good to go. So if you want to see the front diff and the rear diff change, I did those as well. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I recommend doing all 3 in one go. Now, when I'm driving, I know, okay, at X amount of miles, do them all again. Then it's easy to remember. You're not doing a bunch of stuff every weekend. You can get it all done in a couple hours in your garage or your driveway. Super simple, and the process is very similar for all 3. So hopefully this helped you out. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video, and thanks for watching this one.